Yeah, yes, sir, Barry. We can hear you. You jumped in at probably the most perfect time. What is going on, everyone? And
Man, I'm trying to
welcome.
get it on my doggone laptop.
Oh, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right,
Your
perfect,
laptop
man.
ain't swarming, Barrett.
Oh man.
How we feeling, boys? It was we got to start. Well, real quick, man. We want to welcome everyone to another edition of Talking Houston Texans Football. I am one part of your show, Ruben Calavillo. You can find me on YouTube. Just type in 713 Houston Sportcast. I am joined by AD, the CEO of the H Town Rundown podcast. Welcome to the
What up? What
channel.
up?
And then I have Mr. Twitter famous Dr. Barrett. Welcome, boys, to the
What up,
stream. How you
man? What
guys
up? What
doing?
up? What up? What up? Hold on, man. Y'all just bear with me. I'm trying to get straightened out. Hold on.
Take your time, man. Take your time. You know,
Hold on,
AD.
man. Y'all just bear with me. I'm trying to.
My bad.
No, you're good. You're good. It's just chilling.
All right.
Pastor George said, "Why you hiding, Barry?" Nah. We're having some technical difficulties to start off. Um, Najee said, "What's up, Ruben? I'm moving back to the city. It's up. Well, welcome back, man. Welcome
Mm-hmm.
back.
Bro, I don't have to hide. I know I'm handsome. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
you
worry
tell
about hiding this face, bro.
you tell him that, Baron. Boys, a lot of things have happened over the past couple of days. A contract extension that we need to talk about. Some bases showing up at OTAs. AD, I'll start with you. Then I have Barry respond to your take. Nico Collins, 3 year, $75 million. The Houston Texans not wait
Mm-hmm.
until this offseason. They decide to extend Nico right now. Only 25 years old. He's coming off of a season where he caught 80 balls for 1,297 yards, 8
Mm-hmm.
touchdowns. Your thoughts on the contract, and did we pay him too early? And just overall, your thoughts on the deal itself.
No, I actually think the deal itself was a great deal. We soon to come find out the very next day.
Mm.
Um, Jalen Waddle signed a contract and kind of blew Nico's out the water. So I'm very happy and excited that we got Nico, and it's a Nick Casario special. It's 2 years with a year 3 out, with only a $4.25 million cap hit. If we cut Nico after year 2, if it doesn't pan out, but I highly doubt that situation is going to happen. But the way the trend is with the wide receiver contracts, Nico Collins is going to be here on a team friendly deal.
Mm. And you know what's cool is that he was one of Nick Casario's first ever draft picks. So
Mm-hmm.
to see him get that extension, it's clear that they view Nico as a long-term part of their future. And I kind of like that they did it right now. It's kind of telling him, listen, let's just focus on getting to the Super Bowl. Barry, your thoughts on Nico Collins' 3 year, $75 million deal?
Man, I was happy about it. I've been suggesting that the team go ahead and sign him before he get too expensive. I'm happy that Stroud got a guy that he know he can work with and has had success with in the fold. And I'm just happy that we don't have to worry about trying to replace him next year, after whatever happens this year. So
Mhm.
it's good to have some security of having Nico in the fold for, 3, 4 more years, whatever it is.
And your thoughts on Nico's really his first year producing these amount of numbers. He had so many questions, right? Can you be a number one wide receiver? Can you be a legit option? And I think he answered that. Bears, your thoughts on these next couple of years for Nico Collins? What does he need to do for the fans or for everyone to be like, yeah, he
Uh-oh.
deserved this contract and we're underpaying him?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Dog it. Man, y'all just lost me.
No worries. Can you hear us now?
Hey, Ruben. Hey, I'm gonna text y'all. I'm gonna send you my email. I want you to email me the link, and I'm gonna jump on from my MacBook, man. I
Got
don't know
you.
what this phone doing.
No worries.
You see how Barrett flex a little bit? He ain't got a
All
regular
right,
laptop.
right. He was like,
He
"Let
got
me
the
pull
Mac.
out my $2,000 computer."
I'm hung with the regular Douglas. Um,
Right, and I'm right here struggling with a little Microsoft, fighting. Hopefully,
I got the Dell, man. Give me that Dell, man. Who got Dell in
hoping
the
no
building?
lightning hits this light pole
Right.
outside, because then we're all screwed, bro. But AD, just the question that I was gonna ask Barrett,
Yeah.
what does Nico Collins need to do these next 2 years for everyone to kind of be like, yeah, he deserves this contract, or he's underpaid? Because I definitely feel like this deal was not bad for both sides. I don't feel like the Houston Texans overpaid for number 12, but I also
Mhm.
definitely don't feel like Nico Collins was taken advantage of. What does he need to do?
So for me, like if you want to talk stat wise or just impact wise.
I mean, like, we do both.
Okay, so stat wise, to be honest, I think if he averages between 9 to 1,000 yards over the next 3 years per season,
Mm,
it'll be worth it. That's easy. The number outside of injuries, first of all, stay healthy, stay on
yes.
the field. That would make the contract worthwhile. Just Nico being available. He missed 2 or 3 games last year, if I'm not mistaken. And he was very injury prone his first 2 years as well. So if Nico Collins can stay on the field and at least play 15 games, um, then I think it'll be those 3 seasons will fly by and it'll be worth every penny.
Man, dude, I was not expecting this contract whatsoever. Neither of us. I think no one was expecting this. I think our mouths all kind of dropped when we saw
Mhm.
Nico Collins get this contract. But what does this mean for the Houston Texan offense? Because when you really look at it, you have a stability of your wide receiver core. You have
Yeah.
Nico and Tank and Mechie and Hutch for the next 3 years.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. That's your core, man. And you gotta continue to build a rapport, man. I look at Miami. Miami is building their core with Tyreek, Jalen Waddle, and I guess it's
Mhm.
OBJ, but Waddle and Tyreek Hill have played together what 2, 3 years going on now.
Yeah.
So they have their rapport. And that's what we want. And Tank is next up the pipeline, but I think that John Mitchell has an opportunity as well to really shine and really solidify himself and make the impact of potentially losing a Stefon Diggs not as great.
Now, when you look at the three guys that we have, because you can have the argument that we have three legit number one wide receivers.
Mm,
The last time a team had three guys crack 1,000 yards, it was the 2008 Arizona Cardinals. That was the year where they went to the Super Bowl. It was Kurt Warner, Anquan Bolden, Larry Fitzgerald, and some other guy. I think it was Steve Beston or something. Do you think
yeah,
the Houston Texans have that type of potential with these guys?
I do. I think to me that's easy, easy money. Especially if we, you know, view CJ the way we view CJ and the maturation of Bobby Slowick and the offense and allowing to CJ to do what he does best, which is, place the ball where it needs to be and get his receivers opportunities to make big plays. It's more than fathomable. Honestly, if they played the whole season last year, Tank Dell and Nico Collins both would have had over 1,000 apiece. So just adding an extra player, I think especially the caliber of Stefon Diggs, yes, it's realistic to say yes, we can have 3 1,000 receivers.
Barrett, I was asking AD about the potential of this Houston Texan offense with this wide receiving core. The last time we saw a team have three 1,000-yard guys, it was the 2008 Arizona Cardinals. What are you expecting from this passing attack? Because it's not just our three receivers. We also have two tight ends that I'm big fans of.
Um, I think that as long as they're healthy, getting uh both all three of those guys 1,000 yards should be relatively easy. I mean, when you look at it, it's averaging 60 yards a game. Some games somebody's going to have a monster game. Somebody's going to have an average game, somebody's going to have a below average game, and I expect that to be the rotation throughout the year.
Mm,
So when I look at it, I say them guys getting 1,000 yards each with a quarterback like CJ, it should be no problem. I
mhm,
also the main hindrance would be for me would be Bobby Sloyd playing conservative.
okay.
That's what worries me. I think that CJ is like he distributes the ball enough for everybody to get their statistics.
Mm,
Dalton should get his yards. The wide receivers should get theirs, and then the hot button topic we've been discussing with boys is uh uh Skoranek. Whether it's Skoranek, whether it's Andrew Beck, whether it's Brevin Jordan, who's ever playing that fullback H back type role, I see them they should be able to get around that 400 yards, because they're not going to be the focus of the defense. And
mm,
when they're taking advantage of it, it's going to be a big game. So it
okay.
may be a 30, 40 yard, that may be one time a game. It
Mhm.
may be once every 2 games. But when they make a play, it's going to be a big play because the defense is going to fall asleep on those guys.
Yeah.
So just to follow up on your question, right? You talked about well, you said you have some worries about Bobby Slowick being, conservative. What makes you think that? Because I think it was Joe Mixon in his interview today. He said how sometimes when he sees Bobby Slowick, he's like twiddling his thumbs with all the weapons that he has. So, what concerns do you have, and why do you think he might be conservative heading into the season?
I'm primarily basing it off of the experience we had with him last year.
Okay.
You know,
Okay. Cool.
I
Cool.
saw,
Cool.
and I'm hopefully he's grown past that. But we saw a lot of it last year where
Hmm.
we didn't play to our strengths. We wanted to force the run too much, and I think having somebody as talented as CJ is a blessing and a curse at times because we would run the ball on first down, no game.
Hmm.
Run the ball on second down, get 2 yards. Then it's 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, and CJ's bailing us out. I would like for Bobby to not be as predictable, throw the ball a lot
Okay.
more on first down, you know, get the defense on their heels, and then take advantage of the run.
Mm.
We got these 3 great wide receivers plus a good tight end. We need to take advantage of that. We need to be in what people call 11 personnel. And if you don't know what 11 personnel mean, that's basically one tight end and one running back and 3 wide receivers. We need to be in that type of personnel. I think last year we were like I think we were like 25th in the league in running that personnel. Conversely, the the Los Angeles Rams ran that personnel package 93% of the time.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that's where we want to be at. We want to be in that personnel. We don't want to be in the heavy formations, 2 tight ends, 3 tight ends, 2 backs, stuff like that. We want to get those wide receivers out there so that they can produce and put the defense at a disadvantage.
No, I 100% agree. Thank you for clarifying that. AD, we moved to some of the stories today. Stefon Diggs, the first time we've seen him
Mm.
in Houston Texan threads, there was some pretty negative comments when we didn't see him last week when media was available to OTA. So, your thoughts on seeing number one on the practice field, man, and just, you know, is it just all systems go, man, when you see someone
Yeah.
like one? Because, it's like this dude's a superstar. Let's call it what it is.
Hmm.
When he walks into the room, everyone really like should shuts their mouth and just like, whoa, that's
Yeah. Oh,
that's
it's
the fucking dog.
yeah.
That's the dude right there.
Right.
Just what was it like seeing kind of first glimpses of Stefon Diggs and this
Um,
Houston Texans team?
what's crazy is that I don't feel in awe. I
Really?
don't. I don't. I feel because I have this uber confidence in this team. I feel like this is common. This should be commonplace for us.
Okay.
Seeing guys like Stefon Diggs on the field because we have guys like Nico Collins and we have guys like Tank Dell that we've seen. So Stefon Diggs is just another added piece. I don't feel in shock or awe. I just feel content, man. I feel like it's a part. It's what we're supposed to be doing and what he's supposed to be there because we're that team, that Super Bowl contending team that's gonna be in the mix every year, and that's what comes with it. Is these type of guys? These, to be honest, Daniil Hunter was more of a if you want to say shock or awe than Stefon Diggs.
That's a hot take.
So
That's
um
that's a hot take, bro. I mean, like both moments, I was shocked, but I mean, a move that made me like just stand up and scream was
mhm.
seeing the Houston Texans got Stefon Diggs. I think
Yeah.
with Daniil Hunter, it was more like of a oh thank God, but let's freaking go. It's Daniil Hunter. It's a guy who just had 16 and a half sacks and multiple time Pro Bowl in the past 5 years.
Mhm.
But I mean, regardless, dude, seeing those two guys there, seeing Joe Mixon pass a
Yeah.
catch, and we were both at the season ticket event on Tuesday.
Mhm.
And dude, the energy as soon as you walked in, and Andre Johnson said it himself when he was on the podium. He was like, I did not expect to see this many people in attendance. And it's like we all know what the goal is. And
Right.
that is to get to areas where you have never gone before, right? The AFC
Mhm.
Championship, the Lombardi Trophy. With that being said, man, OTAs today just made me more excited and more impatient for this season to start.
Man, I can't wait till next month because I might as well say it's June. Next month, when we get to go to training camp, I can't wait to see when they guys put the pads on, and it's live action, man. They got. I'm excited. I'm excited more for that than watching it because I want to see it live from with my eyes, man.
A lot of expectations and it's a lot of pressure that it's put on this team because this isn't a veteran led team when you really
Hmm.
think about it, man. It's CJ, it's Nico, it's Tank, it's Stingley, and I'm excited for what Stingley does, in year 3. But you think this young team could manage the stress of the word Super Bowl? And I finally bring up the word Super Bowl because it's a word that Nico Collins mentioned today,
Hmm.
right? He said, we know what the goal is, and that's try to get to the Super Bowl. And this isn't a veteran team we're talking about here. The veterans just got here.
Hmm.
So you think these young bucks can do it, man?
So for me, man, that old adage is saying, they're so young, they don't know that they're not supposed to be this good.
Mm.
You know, um, oh, the storm got buried. So if y'all and people in Houston know these storms are acting a fool right here, and they caught buried. So
They haven't stopped, man.
yeah. So but now for me, like I said, I think the Texans are naive in a sense that like they're just going out there having fun and balling.
Yeah.
And like when it's going to take us to where we want to go. And are you double fisting? I was like, hold on.
I'm about to open the new one, bro.
But
You don't have
but
to do me like that, AD.
but hey, but I think the Texans, are going to make it to where we all expect them to make it.
Yeah.
And he say, "Hey yo," uh, but I just think the Texans, the players, especially the C.J. Strauss, the Tank Dells, the Nico Collins, the Christian Harrises, the Will Andersons, Derek Stingley's, they've all come from winning pedigrees as
Hmm.
far as like in college, but in NFL they haven't experienced it. So when it's time, when it's time, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the comments while I'm talking to, but when it's time, like I think they'll be prepared and ready to go, and it's not going to phase them as much as it would, other guys, other teams, especially that we weren't bad that long.
Hmm.
Now, if we were like in the Cleveland Browns, Detroit Lions, old Cincinnati Bengals era where they were bad
Okay.
for like, 10 years, the organization was just bad for 10, 15 years plus. We just had a little drought of 3 years, you know.
And Stressens brings up, I feel people still underestimating Diggs' veteran presence. I don't know
Mhm.
who tweeted it out today, but they said that once 11 on 11 started or 7 on 7 started, Stefon Diggs was working with John Mechie and the other Texans
Mhm.
wide receivers, getting the routes down and,
Right.
just finding the best techniques in order to get open. And, that's what you want to see from Stefon Diggs. And he comes with so much baggage, but it's like he is already doing the things that are discredited them, right? Someone said, "Well, he's not gonna work out in any team attire." Well, the very next video I see is Stefon Diggs with the Houston Texans long sleeve, right?
Hold on, with a helmet, with a whole helmet.
What a helmet. And then I just see this dude nonstop working out. And I think it was Joe Mixon who mentioned it today. Whether
Mhm.
we're at home at the crib or whether we're here, like, we're knowing what we need to do. I didn't have a problem with Stefon Diggs not being in attendance in OTAs. I'm actually surprised he's here because it's still voluntary, AD.
So, Stefan, the thing about it, people are not really talking about it. They all were here. They all just weren't on the field.
Yeah.
Stefan Diggs was in Houston he was in the locker room. He just didn't step out on the field for that open practice. Same thing with Tunsil and Titus as well. The other veterans that we didn't talk about. Daniil Hunter. What's crazy is that we were so amped up about Stefan Diggs not showing up the first OTAs. Nobody said a peep about Daniil Hunter.
Dude, I
Our
was more
second
worried
big
about Titus Howard not being there than anyone.
right.
I was telling you on the group chat, like, Titus Howard not being here is interesting.
And then Titus posts on Instagram that he in the damn locker room or
Yeah.
meeting room or whatever. So they're there. Um, I didn't have a real concern when he didn't show up, like similar to you, um, because he was with CJ the whole offseason.
Yeah.
So I mean, like it'll be different if he was doing his own thing by himself and then decided not to show up, but he was with CJ the whole offseason. So, you
When do you
know,
think, bro? Because I've been thinking about this myself. How long did this trade, like, how long did it take for it to happen? Because we heard about Stefon Diggs trying to be a Houston Texan all the way back in the
mhm,
Pro Bowl, where he was
right,
talking to a former Houston Texan wide receiver, which we all know it's Andre Johnson,
mhm,
about the city and the organization. Okay, why are you doing that with 3 years left or 4 years left with the Bills? Then it was, I believe, Laramie Tunsil was on vacation somewhere and he was posting on his YouTube channel, and lo and behold,
mhm.
who's there? Stefon
Stephon
Diggs. And
Diggs,
then the
yeah.
clip of Stefon Diggs talking to CJ, right? You see CJ minding his own business, just looking at the ground, and Stefon Diggs trying to strike up conversation of, so what, man? You slinging it down there in H Town? And it felt like this took months, bro. It felt like, and I don't want to say that our guys were colluding, but it would not surprise me if during the season people were not texting our players like, "Hey, man,
but
I
the
see
thing
what y'all
about it,
got going on."
that's not illegal. That's not against
It's
the
only
rules
illegal
for
if the front
players.
office does it, right?
Yeah, only when the front office does. It's not illegal for players to text each other and be like and recruit each other. Um,
It was a
honestly,
decent build up, like Panda just
yeah,
said.
yeah, it was, man. And I honestly, what's crazy, Ruben, is that I don't know if you were on the spaces way like a year prior, before I think it was before it was in the off season last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were talking about receivers and this, and that. This was before the draft last year, before we got CJ Will, all that stuff, right? And we were talking about it. And I was like, y'all better watch out, man. Stefon Diggs is a guy to watch. And I got laughed off the space. Man, he not going nowhere. He not doing this, and that. I was like, Stefon Diggs, if Buffalo doesn't do anything in the playoffs, Stefon Diggs is going to want out. And
Mm.
that's exactly what happened. And I think Stefon knew that he could only, like, that Kansas City game was as far as Buffalo's ever going to go. You know, the one where he took the picture where he's standing outside while they're celebrating with confetti.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that
the one that
yeah,
everyone does
yeah.
now.
So that right there, I think Stefon, after last year, Stefon knew that that's as far as Buffalo can go.
He's
All
back.
right,
Yeah,
I'm back,
and
man.
so
I'm back,
yeah,
man. I'm back. I'm back, man. I'm
but
back,
got the generator running.
Yeah, the generator took a little while to come on.
Barrett, I was asking AD how long did he think the process of the Stefon Diggs trade happened? Because it felt like ever since the Pro Bowl, we were hearing about him wanting to join this team.
Oh man, you just never know, man. I think we definitely explored Keenan Allen, and all right now, son. We explored Keenan Allen and tried to see what that was about, and that didn't work out. So, man, you never know. I don't know. Maybe he was fishing in two holes at one time. Maybe they prefer Keenan Allen. Maybe they prefer Stefon Diggs, and Keenan Allen was cheaper. I don't know. I don't think with a guy like Nick, man, I would say it wasn't a quick process. It was probably more thorough
Yeah.
than we think it was.
Yeah. I think as soon as the season, soon as the season ended, information started, flowing back and forth, and I think, what are they talking about with the phrases?
Wait a minute, bro.
That's what that Barrett said.
Y'all don't do no fishing? Come on, man. I didn't say 2 cups, 1 girl. What 2 girls, 1 cup? Y'all tripping, man. Y'all swarming.
Hey, but no, I think as soon as that communication, I think Stefon probably shot CJ a text, and then it was over after that. CJ relayed the message, and they went to work. I mean, even Nico Serio at the town hall said that the Nico Collins extension was 6 weeks in the making. So they don't do anything rushed.
Now that one, I think they already had that extension done, and they waited till the day of the season ticket member party, whatever that's called.
Something to talk about.
Yeah, I think they had that because man, it was really odd that Texans cap dropped pretty much the same exact contract.
Okay, if I could give you something, he had DM'd us and said, "Oh my God, what perfect timing for me to drop that article." He was just as surprised when it happened, but
he got to act like he was surprised. Come on, bro. He don't post much content, and the minute he posts the content, it's the same day of the same exact topic, and it's almost exactly what he got.
Well,
Cap's been locked in for years now, bro.
Yeah, and the thing about
I definitely think he has some some type of inside information on things that goes on. I've been following him for at least the last 2 years. I've been paying attention. I watch his YouTube channel, man, stuff like that.
He's good.
I think he does. I think he does for sure have an inside because he gets those numbers like super quick.
Yeah,
like if they say such and such signed a contract or an extension, he already had the numbers. And he posting the contract and all this stuff. I'm like, okay, you know ahead of time. So like Barry said,
man, Cyclops, get out of here with that negative stuff, man. That man ain't did nothing. He haven't done anything negative.
Look, when you winning, ain't no need to throw no tantrums, man.
Just if Cyclops, I'll challenge you to pull up the film from Buffalo and see how open he was, and that Josh Allen wouldn't deliver him the ball.
Okay. So I'm glad you bring that up. Like, do you think that was an act like a liable narrative to talk about? Because a lot of people were saying, "Oh, well, he fell off towards the end of the year. He had 5 of his 8 touchdowns in the first 6 weeks of the season, then only 3 the rest of the year."
Yeah, he was having a great year. He started off like really great. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I want to say he was like on pace for like 1,700 yards or somewhere around that. And then when they changed coordinators, Josh Allen and Brady just didn't feature him anymore. They went to the run game. So, I mean, like, it's easy to say a guy fell off, and it's easy to say he got an attitude problem. But like when you know you can help your team win, and
Can't say
you know,
nothing, boy.
yeah, bro, you gotta.
Yeah, no, can't say nothing.
That's something going on with you, man, because your mind is too wired into that kind of stuff where you everything is, something gay. but
No, man.
but but Diggs, you know, gotta get you knocked off your train of thought, man. Diggs was doing it. He was not wrong for voicing, hey, give me the ball so I can help my team win.
Mm. And then AD, I go to you. Like, you think that's going to be a problem this year? Because I've already seen so many Bills fans, so many Vikings fans just say, "Oh, well, he's your problem now. Watch him destroy your locker room." And my response to all of them has always been, if one player can destroy your locker room, then you didn't have one to begin with.
Right. That's my exact sentiment. I don't think it's going to happen in Houston because one thing I will say that is evident that will not happen is that CJ doesn't do dumb shit like Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen does a lot of dumb shit, and that will piss you off. So, like they said, he's open, and Josh Allen just chooses not to go his way for whatever reason. I guess if to make himself look like he's spreading the ball around or for whatever Josh Allen got going on in his head, it be dumb as shit sometimes, and he just he just do dumb shit. And CJ ain't for damn sure ain't doing no dumb shit.
And a lot of times, man, that stuff is, and I'm not saying this is what it is, but a lot
For
of
sure.
times it's jealousy.
Mm-hmm.
When we all know, not we all. I think that everybody that's knowledgeable would acknowledge that Josh Allen struggled before he got Stefon Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
He was very erratic, and his play is still very erratic. But he struggled heavily without Stefon Diggs, and Stefon
Mm-hmm.
Diggs gave him a security blanket. It gave him a number one weapon, and they both flourished together. They flourished together. So now that they're apart from each other, we're gonna see what's what. Josh
Yeah.
Allen got a lot of praise. He got a lot of praise. A lot of, you know, they anointed him one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
Mm-hmm.
But he really ain't done anything. He hasn't won anything. I think some Texans fans would praise him, but if you remember, the guy y'all hate knocked him off.
Mm.
So I think Stefon is coming into a better situation with a better quarterback who's a better passer of the football, who's a quarterback who plays the position with his mind versus his athleticism and looking for big plays. I mean, the big plays happen, but we know CJ, he's a cerebral quarterback.
Right.
And I think he got an opportunity to come here and change the narrative because the narrative is there about him, whether it's true or not. The narrative is out there about him, but he gets to come here and try to change that narrative.
Mm-hmm.
AD, as I go to you, someone asked earlier with Laramie Tunsil and Titus Howard being out, who are the tackles right now? So I'm guessing it's Charlie Heck and either Blake Fisher or David Sharp. But one question that I wanted to ask you, AD, is one overreaction that I've had over today is Kate Stover running with the ones in 7-on-7. And I just feel like this dude is going to make some plays in year one. I feel like this was the CJ Stroud pick. He got one last year, which was Tank Dell. And I feel like we're going to give him a draft pick every single year. But I'm very high on Kate Stover, man. And I think this is your backup tight end.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was evident because we didn't have a backup tight end last year at all. We was out there playing Andrew Beckett tight end, and Brevin Jordan
A
didn't
Pro
see the
Bowler,
field.
baby. Pro Bowler.
Pro Bowler Beck. But yeah, I mean, Brevin Jordan, TQ couldn't stay out the trainer's room, couldn't stay off the injury reserve. Brevin Jordan, I don't know what happened, couldn't find his foot until like the last 3 or 4 games of the season when they finally gave him some action. So I don't know what was going on, but we definitely didn't have a tight end too, and it was clearly evident last year. And so Case Stover just walking into open position, and he's a very talented player anyway.
What do you think, Barrett?
I don't think he's going to be the number one tight end. I think he's another good addition to the offense. Uh, let's get him in camp. Let's see how much he can immerse himself in the playbook. I definitely think he can be a weapon. If you haven't, Seth Payne has like a little
Mhm.
15, 16-minute clip on him, and it kind of opened my eyes up a little bit more to him in the passing game. I think he could be dynamic in the passing game in due time. I don't expect it next year, but I do think he can be dynamic in the passing game. I think Jalen's mentioning it right now. Hey, I'm right there with you, bro. I love TQ. He just can't
Mm-hmm.
stay. He can't stay healthy. Uh, if he can stay healthy, he's going to be a big threat for us in the red zone.
Yeah, I mean, I think his first opportunity was in the red zone against the Eagles, and he came down with a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Um, AD, I'll go with you. Well, and just I want to get your thoughts on number 76, Kenyon Green, because this is now twice from the practices where this player just looks entirely different. Maybe it is just the number 76, but it looks like he's in shape. And what are your expectations for him as we continue with OTAs and heading into training camp? Right now, he's the projected starter on ESPN's depth chart. I know a lot of fans would rather see Jared Patterson, our late round draft pick from Notre Dame last year. Just what do you see from Kenyon Green? I definitely haven't gave up on him yet. This is a first round pick, but this is someone
Mm-hmm.
who needs to prove a lot of people wrong.
First of all, I want to say Pastor George is on this internet line, on Joe Biden internet line right now, talking about he a KG stand. No, sir, you lying. Second of all, I do think that Kenyon Green is gonna come in and solidify the offensive line. I think that he's going to give something. Him and Juice are going to give the Texans what they desperately need on the offensive line, which I really don't think they had. Even with Patterson and all the other guys subbing in and out, is actually run blocking, man. Kenyon Green's forte is run blocking. And him and Juice Scruggs are gonna be nasty in the run game, and it's gonna give us a opportunity to actually run, like Barry said, run the ball effectively. Better than what the hell we were doing last year. So yes, my expectations is Kenyon Green to start, be the starter the full year, and impact the run game in a positive way.
Bear, your expectations for new number 76, Kenyon Green.
I don't have any expectations for him.
Mm.
Um, I hope that he bounces back. I hope that he realizes his potential and becomes the player that we drafted him to be. But I mean, just being honest, we got 2 years and we got nothing, really, essentially nothing. But I like to go back to his rookie year.
Go ahead.
And I know I didn't have that concern for Kenyon Green that I had after after he got hurt in that Saints game.
Mm.
I was like, after that Saints game, I was like, is Kenyon's career over?
Mm-hmm.
Is he done? Like, is he like mentally done? Like I expected like ups and downs. I expected him to have some struggles in year two, but I fully thought that based on his rookie year, he would be pretty damn good his second year. So I don't know if it was just the avalanche and negativity and listening to everybody talk bad about Kenyon that seeped into my head, but I know I don't think majority of us as a fan base thought Kenyon Green was a unplayable player. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what some people tried to do
Mm.
based on training camp last year. They made it seem like Kenyon Green shouldn't even be in the NFL at all. And
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think that's true because he had some good moments his rookie year in the preseason and during the season. He had some good moments, but he just hit
Mm-hmm.
that rough spot against all those good players. So I'm looking for Kenyon, and hopefully he has his confidence back, his body's right, and that he just comes out there and does what he knows how to do, and that's just play football.
Now, Bear, do you just think all these year three guys are going to figure it out? Because it's not just a year three Kenyon Green, it's a year three Damian Pierce, it's a year three Jalen Petrie. If those three guys figure it out, I mean, we're talking about a very good Houston Texans football team.
Yeah, I heard you mention that last night. Correlating all the year 3 guys and their struggles, and trying to get it together this year. If we can just get moderate success out of Jalen Petrie, if we can get moderate success out of Kenyon Green, and we can get moderate success out of Damon Pierce as a backup running back, I think we'll be in really good shape. I don't think we need any of these guys to be world beaters.
Oh,
But if
100%.
Mhm.
I'm not asking for them to be Pro Bowlers, but they
yeah,
were all damn near unplayable last year.
yeah. So
If
if
they could just give me something, dude.
if we can get Kenyon Green to be a Pro Bowl player, I think it unlocks the whole offense. It makes the whole team better. If he's playing like a guy that we like, damn, we see why we drafted him number 15.
Mm-hmm.
It'll make the whole offense better. Today, Jalen Petrie, he was working a lot at nickel. From what I listened to on we swarming all day, every day. But with Jalen, they were talking about him on the radio that they were working him a lot in the nickel today.
Mm-hmm.
That's a dangerous spot for him. Dangerous. And it makes me feel like when they start trying players at other stuff a lot, it's like you losing confidence in them. And then it makes me wonder about how much more rope does he have, because Jalen struggled a lot last year. And then the clips we saw from last week, he was struggling with some of the same things again. And then we get these clips this week, and he's in a different position. So I'm concerned with Jalen Petrie probably more than I'm concerned with everybody.
AD, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like you don't put an undisciplined player on the line. On the line of scrimmage. You don't put somebody who can't discipline themselves on the back end of the defense and then bring them up on the line and expect them to all of a sudden become disciplined and play their responsibility. Like that hasn't been Jalen Petrie's game. So to expect him to do that now is, changing positions like Bear said is dangerous, man. It's dangerous because boy will get cooked. Like some
Ladies and
stir fry.
gentlemen, we want to bring in Mr. Harley Dugan of the Lead. Welcome. Last but not least, Harley, can you hear us? What's going on, brother?
Yeah, I can hear y'all. Just
Harley, you was on
logging in right now.
CP time, huh?
What's that?
You was on CP time, huh?
What you mean CP time? What you
Oh
mean?
shit, never mind.
Don't say
Never
it.
Never mind. Never mind.
It's something's escaping my head. I guess I don't
No,
know.
we good. I was just joking with you. We good, Harley.
I didn't understand it. Sorry, brother.
So
We good.
What's going
someone
on,
brought
everybody?
up the where's the question at? But it was about the cornerback number 2 position, and I'll let you take this, Harley. Your thoughts on the number 2 spot right now? It looks like it's number 11, Jeff Okudah. To me, the secondary is one of our concerns. Barrett mentioned just Jalen Petrie being one of his concerns as well. But what do you think about that number 2 cornerback spot?
I mean, I already had a video just a few days ago talking about the Houston Texans' biggest worries, and the biggest worry for me was the secondary. And to me, that's one of the just bigger things that I continue to harp on is, my confidence level on Jeff Okudah and CJ Henderson. And, Derek Stingley's going to ball out, but there is still, we still got to remember this man hasn't finished a year. I want to be optimistic as hell with him. I do. But I got to also know that he hasn't finished a year. He's had these injury issues all the way stemming from LSU at college. So, I kind of am wondering, with Derek Stingley, obviously I know he can play like a top 10 cornerback, but I need him to finish a year. I need him to do, be healthy for the rest of the year. And then y'all were talking about Jalen Petrie and nickel, the secondary overall, the safeties, average to okay. I think I'm being a little nice there. Jalen Petrie wasn't very good for you last year. When it comes to rookie year to sophomore slump, it's probably worse than a sophomore slump if we're being honest. But my only optimism there is that he was closer to the ball when and performed very well at Baylor. I'm hopefully, maybe I'm just leaning onto some optimism with Jalen Petrie here, but him playing closer to the ball, hopefully, attracts more good results from him. The secondary overall is a concern for me, though, for sure.
Bear, your thoughts on that number 2 cornerback spot?
I'm not really concerned with it. I saw what D'Amico can do with lesser talented guys, and he was
True.
very successful with them. I also know that we have probably the most talented player in the secondary that D'Amico's ever coached in Derek Stingley Jr., along with a ferocious pass rush. So I'm not necessarily concerned with the secondary as it stands. The one thing I would be concerned about is if you lose Stingley, who do you lean on? Um, so that's the part that concerns me. If you lose Stingley for an extended period of time, who are you able to lean on? Now, could D'Amico get the most out of C.J. Henderson and Jeff Okudah? He sure could. Could they be fine? Could they play well enough um, for them to sustain the defense while we wait for Stingley to get healthy? They sure could, because I saw D'Amico bring a guy, Shaq Griffin, off the streets last year that couldn't find a job. He had just been cut by the Jaguars. He couldn't find a job, and D'Amico brought him in, and he was playing fine. Actually, he played better than Stevie Nelson, who was a starting corner. So I'm not overly concerned. I like CJ. I like Jeff. I haven't really had a chance to really look at what Ford. I saw some things about him that I do like, Mike Ford, but of course we're going to see more of these guys in the preseason, and we'll be able to have an informed opinion then once we see them out there and how they look in this defense. The other caveat is, what kind of defense are we going to be playing? Are we going to be playing D'Amico's defense that we played for like the first 14, 15 weeks of the season? Or are we going to play that defense that played the Browns the second time? That's that one where Stingley was taking on wide receiver number 1. If that's the defense we're going to be playing, we're going to be fine. We're going to be perfect. So that's what I'm waiting to see more than anything. I'm waiting to see how we scheme things up defensively.
Yeah.
Dude, it's just hard to wait until training camp. It's hard to wait into the preseason and heading into week 1.
You ain't gotta wait much longer, baby, because we right here.
When is training camp? Like, when is it
It's
usually?
in July, so it's gonna start earlier.
Okay, so that's what I wanted to ask. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like when are the close
I think
dates?
the week. Remember last year was like the week after 4th of July.
Yes.
Is when they started. So
I think we got to start early because we had a new head coach. So it may be middle of July at worst. At worst, middle of July. Yeah, it's not much. I mean,
it's not far.
It's June right now, bro.
Harley's cracking his knuckles, man, because we know we try
excited,
to go to
man.
every open.
I'm excited,
man. Practice.
This is what I'm excited about.
Go ahead.
We got all these young guys, all these unproven guys, all these players we want to see. We get the extra preseason game. We get to go to the Hall of Fame game, and a lot of our that's right. Thank you, Stella. Stella. So we do get the Hall of Fame game, so we are going to start earlier, but we get to see all these guys play an extended amount of time. We're going to get to see the wide receivers. We're going to get to see Mechie, Hutchins. We're going to get to see Fisher on the O-line. Maybe not Juice as much, but we're going to see my boy Henderson at guard.
Patterson.
Defense, we're going to get to see Hill. We're going to see.
They talked about Hill today.
Lassiter and Bullock. We probably won't see much of them early on.
Solomon Bird.
Yeah. So we're going to get to see all these guys that can be developmental pieces, that could be key, extra guys for us. They're going to get to see a lot of action, and it's going to mean something. Most of the time when you got a game like that, it's just guys playing that's going to be cut, that's going to practice squad. So that's the part I'm excited about, man.
304 people inside the live stream. We are on Twitter, we are on Instagram, we are on TikTok and
I
Facebook.
don't think we're not swarming, man. If
Man,
we
bro,
only
we're swarming. Look,
we not.
man, to show Bear we're swarming. Drop the W's in the chat. Drop the swarms.
We
Harley,
not swarming, man.
I haven't. Don't make. Nah, I was about
I don't want you swarm like that.
hey,
I know you'll do it.
hey.
But man, I don't know. I can't even see the comments, so I'm only seeing the ones y'all bring on the screen.
Oh,
man.
okay, I got you. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Let me go
Man,
ahead.
I want to see us swarm, man. We need to be swarming, man. Most of the time I jump on here with Ruben up around 2,000 view, something like that, man. So y'all
Look
ain't
at all the
swarming.
W's in the chat, man. Look at all
Y'all
the
not
swarms,
swarming,
dude.
man. Y'all
Like-
not willing to die for the Texans.
Bro, dude, look at Pastor. Pastor, who was making fun of you, even said something.
Pastor not willing to die for the Texans, man.
Nah.
He's not a fan, man.
Harley, what was it like seeing Stefon Diggs in some Houston Texans uniforms?
Felt a little surreal, I ain't gonna lie. Felt different. It's been a while. It's been a while since we've have something that's pretty substantial for the Houston Texans. Like damn, okay, we got Stefon Diggs. Oh yeah, we got Joe Mixon too. Oh yeah, CJ Stroud's the quarterback of this team. Oh yeah, okay, that's pretty damn fun to talk about. Like, yeah, okay, cool, lots of fun. Okay, yeah, Bobby Slowick's back too. Oh shit, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm liking this. And then just like going through clips and stuff of different people talking high on the Houston Texans and hyping up everybody. Like, yeah, oh, okay. So yeah, the Houston Texans are going to be doing their thing this season. And I mean, I've already said it before. I think that was a hot take. I guess it was a hot take that the fan battle believed it was like they kind of reacted pretty high of it. But I said, I thought we could be a top 10 offense and top 10 defense. Like, I think this team has the capability of doing both. They were, yeah, right. A lot of people, they kind of reacted like, "Whoa!" Like, and I was like,
fan battle.
Yeah. They
Not
kinda
Mike
reacted that way.
Crenshaw and
Well, Crenshaw wasn't there. I forgot who. I know Matt was there for sure, but I know Crenshaw wasn't there. But
they're still swarming, Barrett.
Swarming now. I like that. We swarming now.
Keep it up, Chad.
Y'all
Keep
swarming.
it up.
Yeah.
You have 4 of the best Houston Texan content creators inside the building. But no, man, keep it up, Harley. So they felt some type of way.
I don't know about some type of way. They just kind of were like, I guess they didn't expect me to say that. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, offensively on paper, this is one of the best rosters in the NFL. I don't think that's like a thing to go crazy about. Like, I would definitely believe this team has a capability of being top 10 offense and a top 10 defense. Like, I don't think that's anything crazy.
If we're not a top 10 offense, that's a disappointment.
Oh, if we're not top 5, I'm upset.
Yeah, we definitely
exactly. There we go. Like that's the only thing I was kind of like, oh, I didn't expect that kind of reaction.
But the defense, so like, you got to look at the composition of the team. The team, like, that's why I ask people when I get in debates with somebody about the team and what we need to do, and I just like, is this a offensive or a defensive team? And then most people will say offense. So then if you say, okay, we're offensive team, are we gonna be a ball control, run the ball, or are we gonna be a aggressive passing the ball team?
Bro, throw that bitch 60 times a game, dude.
I don't want to go 60, but
I mean, obviously not.
I know you're just being facetious, but we should be a aggressive offense. And the way it's a team that we're built like that compares to us very closely. So when we take a lead on a team and we get out ahead of them, our defense is built to play with a lead. We're not built to be a defense that's in a grinded out game that's going to be stopping the run. We are built to rush the passer and take the ball away. That's what our defense is built on. Our defensive line is slender. They're all athletes. Will and Daniil are going to, and Autry, they're going to have a field day out there. And the team that I like to think that we're modeled after is the Indianapolis Colts when they had Peyton Manning. That's the team I see us built like. We're built.
Dwight Freeney.
Yeah, Dwight Freeney.
Matthews.
We're built to score a lot of points and then cause havoc on defense when a team is one-dimensional and forced to pass the ball. If you're expecting 20 carries out of Joe Mixon, that's not what's gonna happen, bro. I mean, he only averaged 15 carries a game last year, and they were leaning on him without Joe Burrow. So
Mm.
he's
Yeah,
not going to come here and be carrying the ball
Go
20
ahead
carries.
after AD. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I'm just saying, like, it ain't no run. Like, it's only a handful of running backs in the NFL that carry the ball 20 times a game, period. And
Yeah,
if you ain't Derrick Henry or somebody like that, that ain't happening. It's been running back by committee
that's
for
it.
the
It's by committee, man.
for the last like 4 or 5 years in the NFL. So
And I don't even think Joe Mixon is going to be a committee. I just think because we don't have the backs in the stable for it to be a committee. I just don't think
He kind of mentioned it today, like when someone talked about D'Amico saying you and Damien are going to be a 1-2 punch. He brought up Jahar Jordan, and then I was like, okay, cool. So maybe this is more of a running back by committee type of role. But then it also gave the vibe of Joe Mixon saying, "Nah, isn't a running back by committee. This is me." And whenever they get their number called, they could do something.
Yeah, that's how I see it. They're going to get touches, but Joe Mixon is a workhorse. That's what he is. He's a workhorse type back, and that's what I see from him. Is I see him uh, taking the majority of the carries, being there in the pass protection, catching the ball out the backfield, doing it all. He can do everything. But I just at the end of the day, I don't think we're going to be a team that's going to rely on the run a lot, unless we get up on teams and they just can't stop the run and we're salting the clock away. 4-minute offense. That's when we'll run the ball.
No, I 100%. Dude, it's like every night, Harley, I lie awake and I made a meme where I had put two pictures together, right? And one part of the meme said, "Oh, well, he's probably thinking about other girls," and the other part, it was him saying, "Are we really going to go to the Super Bowl this season?" And when you hear someone like Nico Collins, who just got paid, say, "Yeah, our goal is to get to the Super Bowl," man, I had asked AD this, and I really don't think this is a veteran-led team. I think the veterans have been brought in to be that extra juice. Right now, you're led by the young guys, CJ, Nico, Tank, Will, Stingley. You think these young guys can handle the pressure?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, D'Amico already mentioned when they had rookie OTAs, hey, look at Will Anderson. That's exactly what the Texans like. That's an embodiment of what they're trying to create in that environment, in the swarm mentality is Will Anderson. I mean, Will's basically like a veteran in a rookie second year, mindset basically. I mean, I just did a clip where I reacted to Ryan Clark, and he was just like, I mean, he gets you hyped. He gets you absolutely hyped and gives the Houston Texans lofty Super Bowl expectations. Talked about the continuity between Bobby Slowick returning, CJ Stroud going into year 2 of the same offense. You got a Joe Mixon, you got a Stefon Diggs, you got Tank Dell, you extended Nico Collins. You added to this defense. You have D'Amico Ryans going into year 2 as well. He's only going to be a better head coach. CJ Stroud's only going to be a better player. There's lofty expectations, and there is no reason to why the Houston Texans, besides whatever happens, and I'm just not going to say it because of bad juju, but the lofty expectations should definitely be met by the Houston Texans this year.
yeah, I
Barry, I
want
don't think I asked you the question. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, AD.
I want to comment on what K Stella said. Run the ball to set up the pass. No, we gonna pass the ball to set
Yeah.
up the run, man. I don't know where we passed that. Stefon Diggs killed all that.
And Bear, the last question of the night, because I did get that weather warning on my phone. And one thing about my power, it is not strong. It is not strong. That tornado last week knocked me out for 4 days. Bear, real quick, man, do you think these young Houston Texans players could live up to all the pressure this season?
Let's see who they are. I'm gonna name some guys, and I want you to see if I left anybody off.
Okay.
CJ Stroud, Will Anderson,
Okay.
Derek Stingley,
Absolutely.
Christian Harris.
I'll be on the fence, but yes.
I'm just saying these are the young guys
Okay.
that in
Okay. Gotcha.
leadership positions.
Mhm.
Nico Collins,
Yes.
Tank Dell to a certain extent.
Okay.
Is there anybody I'm missing out of those young guys that you're worried about where they handle it?
Nah, that's pretty much. If you would ask me who's the young core, I would say those guys.
Okay, the reason I mentioned those guys because all of those guys come from winning programs. All of those guys are winners and used to winning at the highest level. This is nothing new for them. This is what they've been doing their whole life.
Mm-hmm.
So pressure does not apply to those guys. They're not going to be concerned about pressure. I mean, they're all young, and I don't know if you probably saw this about teams, young teams making the playoffs. They're too stupid to know that they should be nervous.
Mhm.
They're too stupid, too naive. I'll say too naive because I don't like saying they're
Mm.
stupid. They're too naive to know that there should be pressure involved. This is just what they've been doing. It's as normal as breathing to those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I absolutely love it. This was a fire episode. Before we go away, guys, real quick, I want each three of these guys, and we can start with AD and go down in a row. Just let the fans know where they can find your latest work, your Twitter, your Instagram, whatever you need to shout out.
Look, y'all go ahead and y'all know what it is. Follow the H Town Rundown on YouTube, at the H Town Rundown on Twitter, the H Town Rundown podcast on Instagram, and the H Town Rundown on Facebook. All social media platforms soon. TikTok and all that will be coming soon. But yeah, just follow us, give us a like, share, and subscribe to the podcast on YouTube. Get those numbers up. We almost 500. Let us go ahead and cross over that barrier.
500.
Hopefully we get there this week and keep it swarming, man.
Go ahead, Harley.
You can find me at the lead_HOU anywhere on social media, especially on YouTube. On the road to 10,000 subscribers, already past 8K. Again, appreciative every single one of y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. Y'all still watching? Smash that like button. Y'all know what to do. Drop a swarm in the chat. Y'all already know what to do.
Yeah, drop some
Texans
swarms
fans,
before we go.
the Texans fans, they already know what's up, man. We're doing good things. We're doing bigger things. Can't wait for training camp, man. It's a lot of fun content to get into when it gets in there.
Go ahead, Barry. Finish us off. Pause. That's crazy.
We love the end. The weather got buried again.
Is he stuck?
That boy,
All right.
That's a good photo. I ain't gonna lie.
Right. Just
great
looking
photo.
out.
Everybody,
Ladies and
let's-
gentlemen,
He's making sure everyone's swarming.
No,
That's
let's
what he's
do the
looking
bed.
at.
Everybody
He's
do
making sure
everybody
there's a
do the bed.
swarm.
Everybody do the bed.
ladies and gentlemen, the rain has started outside.
did
I'm not
the-
gonna take no
he did
chances. I love you all. Do me
I'm
all a
out.
good favor and have a real blessed rest of your day.